I'm sorry that I just came out of the closet like 2 minutes ago, and I'm trying to figure out who I am.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the new Season 3 of Good Trouble and all of the things you might have missed so far. If you're in need of a bit of a catch-up or just want a quick recap before the new episode airs, stick around. We've got your back. Before we get into it though, make sure you subscribe to our channel for future videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications either, or you might miss out. Now let's get into everything you might have missed on Season 3 so far. However, before we start talking about things you might have missed, know that this video does obviously contain spoilers for all 3 seasons alongside spoilers for the Fosters. Click off the video if you're not after any spoilers. First, let's have a bit of a recap on what Good Trouble is. Good Trouble is an American drama and spin-off of the Freeform show, The Fosters. It follows the lives of Callie and Mariana as they venture off with their lives in the crazy city of Los Angeles. Good Trouble shows Callie and Mariana tackling a ton of real-life problems they haven't encountered before, including both personal problems and social ones. For example, we see Mariana tackle a male-dominated world of tech, while Callie faces hardships in the legal system. On top of this, the two disastrously manage their love lives and make some less than favorable choices. Oh well, you live and you learn. These problems leave the pair quick to notice that living on their own is a lot harder than they anticipated. They end up having to rely heavily on each other to stay afloat in all of the mayhem. If you love The Fosters, we definitely recommend watching this, as it's got all the bits you probably love. Now, let's catch you up on the moments you might have missed in Season 3, because it's a killer season. To begin, let's take a look at what's going on with Callie. First of all, she and Jamie are really going through it. If you think back to Season 2, you'll remember that Callie was working for legal aid that was representing a group of tenants being forced out of their building by a corporation that their boyfriend, Jamie's, law firm represented. Well, she ends up finding documents in Jamie's briefcase that prove the company is doing some pretty shady stuff and that they're going to turn it into a mental health prison. Obviously, this isn't good news. What's even worse, though, is that she unwittingly uses the documents to tip off community activists. When the tenants find out the truth behind the deal, it gets called off and the entire ordeal massively backfires on Callie and her relationship. When Jamie finds out what Callie did, he kicks her out of his apartment and tells her he's going to lose his job because of her. We're not really sure how she planned on getting out of that one. Thankfully, she's able to move back in with Mariana at the coterie, but it still broke our hearts watching the two break up. They break up for good in the first episode of Season 3, but later end up hooking up at Foster's Hunter reunion. Despite having sex, the two still argue and don't manage to reconcile. On top of all this relationship drama, Callie has also learned that the homeless man with severe mental health issues that followed her into her and Jamie's apartment is in prison. Jamie ended up pressing charges, claiming it was for his own good, but when Callie visits him in the prison, she discovers that he's being beaten and refuses his medication. Callie ends up taking the case to Kathleen, a woman that runs a non-for-profit. She agrees to help, but only if Callie leaves legal aid and works for her, which she does. However, as the season progresses, Callie learns that Kathleen isn't as nice as she seemed to be and doesn't do all that much to help Jared, the homeless man. Later, when talking to Jamie and attempting to move on, he tells her that Kathleen is being investigated by the FBI, which she struggles to believe. On the bright side, Callie finds out she's passed the bar exam, so it's not all bad news for her. Now, let's look at what's going on with Mariana. For starters, her love life is kind of in shambles. Last we saw Mariana, she just had sex with her boss. Not the brightest of ideas, but we're all about sexual liberation, so you do you, I guess. This all happened because she presumed her boyfriend Raj had been sleeping with her roommate Isabel. This conclusion was jumped to after Raj says he was confused as to whether he had feelings for her roommate or not, but decided he didn't a little bit too late. Mariana had already slept with Evan by this point. During all of this, Isabel moves out. The two ended up calling it quits because Mariana thought her feelings for other people meant they probably shouldn't be together. Good call. However, she then proceeds to agree to a secret relationship with Evan. Not a good call. Meanwhile, things aren't going all too great with the activism app she made in the second season either. A white supremacist group is using the app to spread hate and pushing down Malika's crowdfunding page. She decides the app needs to be shut down, but Evan decides not to. While she understands his decision, it angers her and she quickly quits as she doesn't feel her team is being taken seriously and is annoyed they don't own their own work. The Bike Club girls follow her, and they agree to make their own startup. The only issue here is that the girls don't know she's dating Evan, and it won't go down well when they do. So what's happening with the rest of the characters in Season 3? First of all, Malika had her hearing. While Isaac was nervous, Malika pushed it under the rug as her BLM lawyer told her it was routine. It doesn't go exactly as she hoped, though. The judge refused to revoke her bail and instead raised it to $250,000, keeping her in custody until it's paid. While the others tried to raise the bail money, Malika sat tight. A signed position ends up turning up, demanding that DA Hansen drops the charges against her, but it was futile. and while eventually the bail money was raised, Malika asks them to use it on the other woman in detainment as they needed more. Talk about being selfless. Out of prison, Malika begins getting ready to move in with Isaac and continues to help Yvonne, a woman she met in jail. As she struggles through her own feelings in regards to her childhood, Malika finally realizes that her neglectful mother was just another victim of a racist system and sets up a campaign to help mothers with nowhere else to turn. Meanwhile, Jamie struggles with a lot on his plate. In Season 3, Jamie is struggling with all the repercussions that unraveled as a result of Callie stealing his documents. Forced to negotiate the leaving terms of his job, Jamie is confused with what to do with his life. Eventually, he ends up getting a new job as a deputy district attorney for the Los Angeles DA office. However, here he encounters Callie, whose client is his first case. The two end up agreeing that they can't remain friends, but they have to maintain professionalism so their jobs don't get complicated. Last we saw, Callie was apologizing to him again for hurting him. He maintains that they can't be friends, but that he's no longer angry with her anymore, and further warns her that her boss is being investigated by the FBI. They leave on rocky terms again as she storms out, convinced he's trying to sabotage her. Now let's talk about Davia and Dennis. After admitting they both had feelings for each other, the two end up having sex and exploring their relationship in the season. However, Sunshine and Rainbows doesn't last long for the two of them, and the relationship is tragically cut short. Dennis has to leave Los Angeles so he can grieve after Gail does a mural over Dennis's wand. Dennis leaves and admits to Davia that he's been struggling with a lot of negative feelings lately and needs to get away until he can sort himself out. The good news is Gail and Alice both seem to be thriving in their own ways. Gail gets back to his true passion with a bit of a push and some help from Davia, begins an internship, originally feeling like he's falling behind his friends. Davia assures him that everyone is on their own path and that he shouldn't rush through it. Meanwhile, Alice spends this season furthering her comedy career after some gentle encouragement from her friends. She's always there to lend a helping hand or a listening ear to them too. Overall, this season is showing us a lot of growth for the main characters on Good Trouble. The gang had been through a lot the last season, and Season 3 seems no different, however. It also seems to show them making it out okay on the other end, for the most part. 3 is really showing us their willpower, particularly Callie's and Mariana's, and it seems like there are some new things on both of their horizons. Hopefully both of them find a bit more job security in the coming episodes, especially if what Jamie said about Kathleen is true. That's everything we got for you today, guys, so thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about Season 3 so far, and what some of your predictions for the characters are. Are you heartbroken Jamie and Callie broke up, or do you think it can lead them on to bigger and better things? Do you trust Kathleen? Was it a terrible idea for Mariana to dump Raj and quit her job? And how soon until her team finds out about Ethan? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Before you head off, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and make sure you turn on notifications too. We'll see you soon for another video, but in the meantime, have fun watching Good Trouble.